to 67. So zoning in on that one, Coach Mo, this Obras team undoubtedly is led by Andre Spite, the 6'3 American-born point guard. He had 27 points on 11 of 21 shooting last night. What makes Spite such a special player for Obras?
Because he can score in many ways. And Sam, I'll tell you, he scored those 27 points in only 24 minutes, which makes it really even a little more amazing. But he can do it all. He can get to the basket. He's strong. He can knock down a three. He was 3 for 7 last night. And he's a veteran. He's been around. He knows what the deal is. And in these type of games, that matters. So you don't get upset with referees. You don't get upset with somebody taunting you. And he's that type of player that can really, really impact the game.
You just saw the roster for Coach Helinko Rubens and the 2-0 Franca team. Coach, guy that stands out most to me here is Lucas Diaz, the 6'9 Brazilian-born power forward. He's averaging a double-double. This guy's a beast in the paint, isn't he? And I know you know about paint play.
Yeah, I mean, and it's physical here. You know, you get down and dirty, and like again, he's a veteran. He's not thrown off at anything, and he can not only affect the game by scoring and getting it into the paint and being powerful, but by his rebounding. He owns the glass a lot of times with 13, 14 rebounds. And in these games, they're 10-minute quarters. They go fast, and if you can get more and more possessions or give up less and less possessions, you have a big advantage, and he's the guy that can do that for you.
So for Franca and Obras, Coach, what do you see as an X factor today? Of course, we talked about those top performers, Andre Spite for Obras, Lucas Diaz for Franca. Who's someone off the beaten path for either of these teams who you think we might be harping on by the end of this one?
Well, someone for Obras is Pedro Bilal, who can score, he can rebound, he can pass. He's a guy that can really step up. And for Franco, it could be Jackson, who he's a solid player. He scores 12, 13 points a game, gets 4 or 5 rebounds, but he's a guy that can really help those main guys and get a victory.
Pedro Barral, 6'1" point guard out of Argentina, as we have the second matchup at the tournament between Obras and Franca. Something else that is a storyline today is these two teams have met before. It was back on December 15th. A Franca win, 94-87. Coach, that one was a barn burner. What do you remember about it?
Yeah, it was back and forth, and I think at the end, Franca had a little bit more in the gas tank, and but I think Obras is a better team now for some reason after about a
Really?
month of playing together, and a better team than they were back then. And I think there's not going to be any surprises here. All these players know each other. They've all either played or played with each other, and there's no secrets. And the coaching's very, very good, and they know everybody. So what I've really noticed, Sam, in these games is a lot of teams rely on their three-point shooting too much rather than going to the basket, posting up, getting the other team in foul trouble. And a lot of these teams are shooting 15, 18% from the three. And I said this last night, listen, if you're shooting 18% from the three, stop shooting threes. Take it to the basket.
Well, I look at the box score of that matchup on December 15th. You have Franca shot 39% from downtown, 13 of 33. Obras shot 29%, 9 of 31. But 64 three-pointers were hoisted up between these two teams. So if that one is a clue for this one, then you might see some three-point heavy basketball today, alongside 12-year NBA veteran Paul McKeskey. Sam Brief with you. This game's happening live in Concepcion, Chile, and is Group D action for the Basketball Champions League Americas. Coach Mo, that rust influence, how might it show up in the first quarter for a Franca team that hasn't played in a month? I mean, this is some serious layover time.
Yeah, what happens is you ball handling, missed passes. You think someone's going back door, and they stop, and you throw it out of bounds, and just getting in the flow, and also shots, contested shots, because no matter what you do in practice, you cannot simulate game speed and game energy. It just people have been trying to do it for a long time, and it's just not done. And you know, they're going to get hands in their face. They're going to have people around them, and you know, so a lot of times it's with the turnovers and with the shooting percentages that really bother you early in the game, and then you get in the flow and get your second wind, and everything becomes natural again.
Well, we know this Obras team can score. They're averaging 92 points a game, shooting it at a 46% clip from the field, 30% from behind the arc, and nearly 80% from the free throw line. So a very effective scoring team. Obras comes in 2-1 in Group D action. Franca at 2-0, getting ready to play their first game in a month and a week. And we're delighted to have you with us for Basketball Champions League America action. And here you see the starting lineup for Coach Helinco Rubens and Franca out of Brazil. So it's Marcio Santos, Santiago Scala, and the bunch for Franca against Obras, team based in Argentina, that is going for their third win of the tournament. Good look at Coach Rubens for Franca here in this fourth iteration of the BCL Americas. Hope all of you, wherever you're joining, are having a lovely Sunday afternoon. One X factor in this game, Coach, hit me.
Well, I think being able to, if Ubras is able to jump on Franca early and set the tone of this game, I think that'll be an advantage. And on the other end, of course, if Franca can absorb that early run, and then gain control of this game. But this is going to be a back and forth. Both teams are talented, so you know, here, I'll give you the key. Whoever makes the most threes is going to win.
All right, shoot some threes, hit some threes, win the game. And here's the starting lineup for Obras, featuring American-born guard Andre Spite, 27 points last night in just 24 minutes. He's joined by Pedro Barral out of Argentina, Venezuela's Miguel Ruiz, America's Jeffrey Solarin, and Argentina's Leandro Serminato. Game happening live in Concepcion, Chile, and it's the second matchup of the BCL Americas between Franca and Obras. It looks like we got a bench technical foul. Coach, I'm sure you've been either on the receiving end or the other end of a few of these. Just maybe some
me?
writing in the
No.
lineup issues?
No. Yeah, I think, and as an assistant coach, I know sometimes you have to and in FIBA basketball, you have to initial the scorebook. I've coached for the Jamaican national team. I've coached for the Great Britain national team. And a lot of times, some of the assistant coaches overlook that. You need to initial the starting lineups before, way before the game starts. And that might be the scenario here.
Okay, so if you don't write your initials, you get a bench technical foul. And it seems that Obras has already surrendered that, as you see Obras coming out in those sharp home whites. Franca will be in those navy blue tops as we get set for the second matchup between these two teams. There's Franca, there's Obras. Jeffrey Solarin, the American-born 6'4" power forward. Good look at him there as we get set for action. Paul McKeskey, Sam Brief with you on behalf of FIBA. Our first of two matchups today, it'll be Real Estelí against Halcones de Jalapa later this afternoon. And folks, remember, if you're just tuning in, Franca has not played since December 15th, so a month and a week since their last game, which was the win over Obras, 94-87. Obras, they are fresh. They might be a little tired, coming off a 96-67 pounding over UDEC, which was just last night. So here we go, Group D action. We are ready to roll live from Concepcion, Chile. Opening tip, Obras will start with it. And again, great to have you with us. Obras in the white and Franca in those dark red tops. Up top. Sermiento off to Spite, and the deep three ball is good for Andre Spite, a familiar suspect. Hits the first three, Coach Mo.
Yeah, he's no stranger to scoring, and he let them know tonight is going to be no different than last night. He just went right at him with the three.
There was Barbosa off to Santos into the corner. Now Scola at the right wing on the drive. Comes up empty, and then a foul on the putback attempt. So free throws coming for Franca. And the guilty party is Jeffrey Solarin. So free throws here. Just 40 seconds. Take me through this one.
Yeah, I mean, and this is what we talked about earlier. With Diaz, he's just a power guy inside, takes up space, occupies the paint. And right then he held off the defense so his teammate can get to the basket, but more importantly, he got that offensive rebound and created a foul there. And he's going to be in that paint all night long.
And Diaz hits them both. 6'9" power forward out of Brazil. Makes it 3-2, just underway. So Obras with it now after the Spite 3 to get us cooking. And Spite, antsy to shoot again, and he gets fouled on a 3. But actually, yeah, Andre Spite's going to go to the free throw line. I see a lot of aggressiveness early on for Obras.
Sam, I'm going to tell you, and you're going to get used to this, that this drives me crazy. Fouling the three-point shooter when you know you're not going to block the shot, and I know they protect the shooter, so you have to adjust, and you can't put yourself in a compromised position and foul three-point shooters. It's just a coach killer and a game killer.
And Spite's a nifty guard. He knows how to make it happen, although missed that first free throw. Hits the second one. And Andre Spite has all the points for Obras so far. Yeah, fouling a three-point shooter, about the worst thing you can do. It's been a messy start for Franca. And Spite with all 5 points so far for Obras. He had 27 points in 24 minutes last night, and looking for a repeat performance this afternoon down in Chile. Here's Charles Hinkle, outside at the left, dishes top of the key for Santos. Santos playing high top of the arc, 6'8" Brazilian, playing distributor as he goes down low. And now the big man will shoot a 3 and can it. So you go in, you go out, and Mauricio Santos has this tied at 5. Spite another 3 ball and another make. Andre Spite is hot.
You better get somebody on that guy. That didn't even touch the rim at all. He's on fire already early in this game.
It didn't take long, and then Santos comes up empty on a little bunny. Let's see if they adjust. Spite looking right at the basket. Now he's got paper-tight defense from Paulo Barbosa. Swings it around for Serramiento. And now a 3, no good for Baral. And rebound goes to Franca. First possession without a point for Obras. And here's the dish down low to Santos. In and out action. 3 ball good. And Franca ties it right back up. In the corner, that's Charles Hinkle.
What beautiful inside out. 2 times in a row. Get it in the post, kick it out for an open 3. Nice.
And now another Obras 3. This one's good from the left wing. And it's another American, this time Jeffrey Solarin. These 3-pointers are cooking so far.
Yeah, and Solarin's a guy that can get hot fast also. You got to watch that.
Now off a steal, here's some quick transition play for Obras. Spite dishes right outside. Back to Spite. Corner 3 ball. Comes up empty. And the rebound goes to Santos. Grown man, one-hand rebound. 3 on the other ends, out for Scala. And now Obras. Breakneck pace so far. This feels like a track meet. Solarin.
Yeah, they're going to come up and
back
down
out to
for
Pereira. Sure. Yeah, now looks like Obras will settle things down a bit. Spite. Nifty move. Blows by his man. And misses. Santos inhales another rebound. He's been active so far. Here comes Franca, down 3. Into the corner, Barbosa misses the 3. Offensive board, but a foul right before that. Shot does not count. It'll stay with Franca. How about this pace, coach? A little quicker than even I expected so far.
Yeah, they're up and down. They're both teams that could do that. The problem is, and what happens when you get running up and down is, what happened with a second ago is you take early uncontested threes, but you miss them and they turn into transition baskets. So you got to really be certain that you're going to make those early threes or else move the ball around.
And here's a fadeaway shot. Boy, that teardrop is a thing of beauty. Charles Hinkle has got 5 points.
Hinkle is just an in and out big guy. He plays in and plays out.
And we've seen them both so far. Now here's a little bunny from the free throw line. Off for Obras and a board for Hinkle. Franca can take a lead. Inside, it is Santos. That is a bully in the paint, and Franca's up a point.
Yeah, and Obras has to do a better job of transition defense. It's really sticking out that Franca's pushing it on him and getting easy shots. Get back on defense.
That's a beautiful cut and foul on Santos. It'll mean free throws coming for Sarmiento. How about the awareness to cut, pretty much forcing this foul here.
Yeah, Obras is really good at ball movement and back cuts. I saw it all last night. And Sarmiento is very good at that. He's very active. He doesn't just stand around. He moves, and that's important on the offensive end.
And now free throws coming for the 6'7" power forward, Leandro Sarmiento. Franca's up 1. Sarmiento able to tie it up with a free throw. Have you seen any adjustments so far on Spite? That was a pretty electric start with 2 3-pointers in the opening minute.
Yeah, I think they're just tightening up the defense, but a little bit too late for it. They should have known that going in. But, you know, he's a guy that, as a coach, you might think about going box and one every once in a while because he can light it up from everywhere.
I would think so. Would have loved to see his shoot around. I mean, he came into the gym red hot. 27 points in 24 minutes last night, and Andre Spite has not let up. Franca ball down 1. Santos around to Barbosa. Down low, pass intercepted, and another foul inside. It strikes me that Santos is doing a nice job in the paint, drawing fouls, Coach Mo.
Yeah, and I don't like playing behind the post. It only gets you in foul trouble. You might as well front him and make him throw it over the top because he's creating havoc in the paint, and people are going to end up getting in foul trouble really quick.
Scala, prodding, driving, and he swirls it in. Santiago Scala's first bucket, and Franca retakes the lead.
What a nice left-handed floater there. Beautiful.
It's a thing of beauty for a natural-born righty. Here's Pedro Barral, who you had as an X factor today. Now teardrop floater is good. That is an absolute thing of beauty. First bucket for Franco Smaniotti. And then a 3 to follow. This pace continues. Santiago Scala strikes again.
Yeah, they're going up and down and shooting the lights out right now early in this game.
Yeah, shooting percentage is off the charts so far. Inside, Jeffrey Salarin draws a whistle. And the fouls continue. Excuse me, Miguel Ruiz. That's Miguel Ruiz, the Venezuelan-born power forward, heading to the stripe. So 3-point happy and foul happy so far.
Yeah, and you see he caught that between two guys. Good catch. But if you look farther away, he had a wide open teammate in the corner that he could have kicked it out for a wide open corner 3, which would have been a better play overall.
Is that just tunnel vision for a big man?
Yeah, I think you focus on catching the ball. That's your number one job. But at this level especially, short rolls, catches, and kickouts are very, very effective. And you work at that in
quick
practice,
pace.
for sure.
Right up the court, here comes Franca, leading by a point. Scala made a 3 on the last possession, now whips it out. On the drive, Hinkle on the teardrop, offensive board, Scala. No on the 3, rebound Obras. Obras with speed, 3's off, board for Diaz.
Nice draw and kick though, just missed a shot.
Another interior foul drawn by Santos. I feel like I've seen this story before. A lot of 3s going up and a lot of fouls drawn by this man, the big boy from Brazil, Marcio Santos.
Yeah, both Santos and Diaz are drawing fouls in the paint because they're very physical. They seal their player. They make it hard for them to get around. And you know, I'm an advocate of fronting the post and make it difficult, make them pass over the top.
Now here's a three for Diaz, and he shows that inside-outside game beautifully. Franca at 20.
He's just a solid big at this level. And like you said, Sam, inside, outside, he can do them both.
You have to do them both in the modern game of basketball. Can't just be a big man in the paint. Got to be a big man outside of it as that left-handed teardrop falls. And at the 3:40 mark, we have a quick stoppage. Good bucket for Franco Smaniotti.
Obras has a lot of players that can drive, shoot. They're very difficult to guard because they have so many weapons out there. You know, we know that Spike is their main guy, but they have a lot of other weapons they can go to.
Well, they've got 10 on the roster. Franca playing with only 8, so even though Franca hasn't played in a month, yeah, this team, especially with foul trouble, could get a little short-handed as Diaz shows us that inside game. So, Coach, we've seen it out, we've seen it in now for Lucas Diaz.
He's just an all-around good player. Love his game.
Now back to Spite, the 3-ball, and rebound, offensive. Smaniotti goes up, back to Spite. Beautiful cut, and a foul on Diaz. Marco Smaniotti will head to the line.
And that's why Spite is so dangerous too, Sam. Is, you know, he had a shot at another 3, but instead he flipped it to a teammate that's cutting to the basket, and just a good basketball play.
Paulo Barbosa taking a seat with his second foul. And Franco Smaniotti already 4 points under his belt. His team down 4, and the nifty lefty out of Argentina makes it 3. Well, it seems that Franca has adjusted to Spite, but certainly something to watch. This Franca team could end up shorthanded. Only 8 men on the active roster today, so a couple fouls, and suddenly you've got a big problem on your hands, Coach.
Or a little fatigue also. That'll build up.
Right. Here's Scala. Diaz trying a step back 3. And the big man can't hit it this time. Here comes Obras. On a quick drive ahead. Ball tips out of bounds off of Franca. And we'll stay here, Obras ball.
Gave him a little shot there as he was walking by. I like to see a little competitiveness.
Yeah, you got to keep him honest, right? The team hasn't played in over a month, and here's Smaniotti drilling a 3, and Obras ties it right back up. Poor transition defense, and a goaltend call gives a free bucket to Franca. It seemed Obras was slow to get back.
Yeah, they have been all night, and no need to goaltend that. I don't think that was going in, but yeah, they got to get back, and it looks like there's kind of a leak out guy for Franca, so you got to be aware of that and get somebody back. And Franca's throwing a little zone at him here.
Knifing through that zone, Smaniotti on a teardrop, and Diaz hauls in the rebound for Franca. Diaz draws a foul and then just throws it at the hoop. Fouls on Serminato, and suddenly the Franca offense seems to flow exclusively through 9 in red, Lucas Diaz.
Yeah, and I think Santos is in there too, so they usually go through one of those 2 guys, and those guys are veterans. They know, like, he knew how to draw a foul there, and he wasn't really even looking to shoot it. He just wanted to get to the free throw line.
He's just hoisting the ball at the hoop. And Lucas Diaz, the 6'9", Brazilian-born power forward, look at that, already in double figures. We haven't even played 8 minutes.
And this is his 4th free throw.
And he's hit all of them. Franca with a 4-point lead. It's been Diaz and Santos leading the charge. The big men. I know you like that, Coach Mo.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Obras keeping it on the outside, and the red-hot Franco Smaniotti brings them within one.
Good. They swung the ball against the zone and got the open shooter. You need to attack it a little bit on the inside first, but that turned out okay.
Are we seeing beautiful offense or really poor defense?
I think a little of both.
Testing the transition now. Salarin to Smaniotti on the teardrop. It is just out. Here comes Franca. 90 seconds in the first quarter in what's been a breakneck pace so far for Group D action in the BCL Americas. Spike comes up with the steal. And here's Obras in transition. Into the corner. And now Obras will actually slow it down. Spite's calling for the ball. But instead, it's a block. Juan Venegas couldn't get it. And now Hinkle chases it down. Under a minute to go, here comes Franca. Outside, 3 balls off. Spite hauls it in. And then a frustration foul is called against Nathan Fernandez. Is it right to call that frustration?
Yeah, no, I think it's smart. They don't want to transition, so he just in Europe they've been doing that for years and years and years, and stopping the transition. But we talked about better offense or better defense, and it's hard to play defense with this pace. And both teams are really sharing the ball, moving the ball, keep the floor spread, and it's hard to defend. And you know what else you'll notice, Sam? You do a lot of G League games. Not many pick and rolls here tonight. Where in the G League NBA you see is pick and roll, pick and roll, pick and roll, and that keeps the floor open, and it's hard to defend.
Why do you think that is, that at this level we don't see the pick and roll game? Because you're right. I mean, I do those G League games, constant pick and roll action.
Yeah, I think they over here and in Europe they have more motion and more actions that they run, staggered doubles and pin downs and all that stuff that we used to run old school, and they run them in transition, which is really smart.
And here comes another Obras steal. Spite bouncing it into the waiting hands of Franca. 3 ball in the corner, and it's good. Franca storms right back ahead. That's a smooth bucket for Scala.
And all in transition, right? Running the floor, spreading the floor.
Finally, some half-court offense here. Slowing it down with just 5 seconds left. Spite a 35-footer, And here comes Franca. Time runs out, and I don't think that one would have counted anyway. We've come to the end of the first quarter. Franca by 3, breakneck pace. If you like offense, you'll like this one. Don't go anywhere. This is BCL America's action, and we are back after this. And back in action for the second quarter, BCL Americas Group D. Sam Brief and Paul McKeskey with you, and down low, Franca with a bucket right out of the break. Wesley Ferreira's first touch is good for 2.
Yeah, and Sam, I wanted to mention this. I think I had a flashback. I think I heard an organ playing in the background there.
It felt like I was at an old baseball game for a moment, eh? And there's a 3 for Jeffrey
Or a
Slaughter.
Milwaukee Buck game.
Yeah, did you guys have organs back in the day at the Bucks games?
Absolutely.
Deep 3 ball off for Diaz. That organ must be comfortable for you. And Obras back with it. Smaniotti has a game-high 13 now. After that teardrop, this nifty lefty is starting to take over.
Yeah, and he's knocking down threes, but he's also getting to the basket. All-around game there, too.
3 balls off for Ferreira. Offensive board, no for Diaz. 3rd chance, now a 4th chance. Bully ball in the paint for Lucas Diaz.
He looked like me when I was playing against my 2 little sons when I was younger. I just kind of playing volleyball with that.
And Diaz doing his vintage Paul McKeskey. Hey, Coach Mo, what kind of footwork goes into that? Because I know it's about more than just Diaz being bigger.
Well, I think you just got to keep it active and keep moving and not stay in one spot. But actually, in that situation, it looked like a man amongst boys. So he was just kind of toying with him a little bit. And back in the
Does it really
day,
matter what your feet are doing when you're bigger?
Yeah, you just keep moving a little bit. But, Moses Malone, God rest his soul, was one of the best at that, at keeping it alive on the glass. And we used to call it padding his stats. He'd get 2 offensive rebounds and then a putback.
Right, easy way to get a double-double. Here's a little step through. Ferreira and 1. Euro step thing of a beauty for Wesley Ferreira.
And I'll tell you, Sam, I'm noticing this, that we mentioned that Franca only has 8 players, and that's unusual. But the good part about it is every player knows they're going to play, and they know themselves so well, and they know their roles, and they accept their roles, and they're just like a well-oiled machine with 8 players.
Yeah, is there some almost advantage you could have playing with only 8 because the chemistry among that 8 is going to be so high?
Yes, because really in a game you play, I used to say I play 8.5 players. So I have 5 my starters and then 3 backups at the wing and the guard and the big. And then I have another guy I'll play between 5 and 15 minutes depending on foul trouble and what's he doing. So, there's going to be some unhappy people on the bench if you have too many guys there.
Meanwhile, we're watching the Lucas Diaz show. He has a game-high 16. He's doing it inside and outside beautifully. There's the answer, though. Pedro Barral with the left hand.
And that's one thing about Obras. They don't have the size to match them inside, and that's killing them tonight.
Barral again with the left hand. Pretty much the same thing on back-to-back possessions.
There's my X factor right there.
Yeah, he's making you look good. His team's down 4. See Obras with those 4 steals, keeping him in it, and we have a game of football going on. I know it's an NFL Sunday, but Diaz tackles his man. Another look. Bigger.
Yeah, that's a little flop, and but you can't run people over.
Luckily for Diaz, only 1 foul through 13 minutes, and he gets some much-needed rest. Franca's up 4 after the early barrage. Coach, we haven't seen much from Andre Spite, who's on the bench right now.
Yeah, he came out on fire, right? And then kind of went non-existent. The other players are playing well, but you got to get him back in the game if you're going to win this game.
That's out of bounds off Herrera. Will stay here. Yeah, if you're just tuning in, Andre Spite had 9 points in the first 2 minutes. You actually see him over his coach's shoulder. Spite's on the bench right now with a towel around his neck.
Put me in, coach. Put me in, coach.
He's waiting for it.
Absolutely.
And Obras a little out of sorts without him. When you're on the bench and you're just waiting to get back in, is there a good way to nudge your coach without actually begging?
Yeah, sit next to him and get in his eyesight.
Right. Hey, I'm
Well,
still here.
yeah, but as
Well,
a
maybe
coach,
now we'll have a chance.
yeah,
Timeout
uh,
time here in Chile.
as a coach, you
We're
got
going to
guy.
step aside.
Put me back in.
Obras calls time. Folks, we'll be
Rocco,
right
you're in
back
for a
after
layup.
this quick break. It's BCL America's action live from Chile.
Listen up. Peppo, Miguel, Franco, Felipe, Jeff. Jeff, make sure you're deep corner right here. Peppo, we might have this quick pass. Be ready to catch and shoot. We ran this against fucking Santa Fe, okay? Felipe, you're coming in and you're fucking taking out Franco's guy. Miguel, you're fucking cleaning up Franco's guy. It's probably right here. Get to wherever you need to go. Boom, whap that shit. You got 1 second. Let's go, boys. Estamos en 23 in defensa. We have to rebound.
Back in Chile, good to have you with us. It's been the Lucas Diaz show so far for Franca, but Pedro Barral and some of the nifty guards for Obras. Defense turning to offense, keeping them in it. Coach, what's that kind of flow has this game looked like so far?
Well, it's back and forth and good three-point shooting. You're going to see right here the coach drew up a play for Franco, who's a hot man, obviously. He's got 13 points, and they're going to run a little action for him to get a quick shot off. At least they tried to.
We got a good listen, a sort of expletive-laced listen into the bench. Christopher Dominguez imploring his troops. What'd you take away from his message during that timeout?
Well, Ubras, they run good actions and they run good baseline out of bounds, a good sideline out of bounds. And you know what I noticed? His players are paying attention. You see eye contact and interest, so that's a good thing. He's really good communicator.
I'm a
Uses the
former
F
coach.
word.
I know that's a lot.
Uses the F word
What'd
a
you
little
say?
bit too much, but uses the F word a little bit too much.
Hey, good way to get his message across.
It's all locker room
Smaliotti.
talk.
Barral on the drive. And then a bully in the paint. It's Miguel Ruiz with a nice bucket.
That's one of their first like post-up inside plays all game. It's good to see.
Each team's got 6 threes. Been a lot outside for Obras. Coach told us before this one, whichever team shoots it better from 3 is probably going to win. Obras is 6 of 11. Franca is 6 of 14. How have you seen the outside shooting so far?
Well, I think it's really solid. I think there's been a couple too early, too fast shots, but other than that, they've been drawn off drawn kick or inside outside. So, as a coach, I used to play a game with the players and watch video and play good shot, bad shot. And, sometimes players don't realize that they're taking a bad shot and they think it's a good shot. But for the most part, both teams are really sharing the ball and taking good shots. And as a coach, as a team, as a player, as long as you take good shots, some are going to go in, some aren't. But, that's what happens in basketball.
Pedro Barral here at the line. Game of good shot, bad shot. Is it as simple as it sounds?
Well, it is, but you'd be surprised how, players think that if a shot goes in, it's a good shot. That's not necessarily true. Bad shots do go in, and good shots miss sometimes. So it's the specific shot that you get. Like some of those early threes, even if a one went in, that's still a bad shot because the ones that miss. So, it's sometimes coaches take for granted that players understand what the thought process is for the team, and you really got to explain it to them and show it to them.
Was this a good shot or a bad shot?
Good shot. Drive into the basket, getting the foul. Anything
And a
usually
good free throw
aggressive.
shooter, Charles Hinkle.
Yeah, anything aggressive going to the basket where you're not just throwing up. Sam, sometimes when I watch college basketball, or it just drives me crazy because a lot of guys drive to the basket and just throw up crap shots. They no chance of going in, spinning it off the backboard, hope it goes in. That's different than he just took it to the hole strong, tried to finish with his left hand and got fouled.
And now Charles Hinkle at the charity stripe puts Franca back up 2 possessions. And he'll sub out for Nathan Fernandez. It's been a fast pace so far. Andre Spite started this game with 9 points in the early going. We haven't seen much of him since, but he just checked back in and now whips it down low to Ruiz, who misses. It's a 5-on-4 for a moment for Franca coming back. 3 is good, and Franca's back up 7. Santiago Scala. Barral looking for a pick and roll. And an offensive foul is called on Smariotti.
Yeah, I think.
What'd you see here?
That's a classic example of it wasn't the guy setting the pick, it was the guy with the basketball that didn't wait for him to get set and created an offensive foul for his teammate. You gotta have patience, wait.
Oh, this one worked out well. Marcio Santos with the tip in. Back the other way. No on a 3, here's Fernandez, and another Obras foul. And another on Smaniotti. So he's gone from red hot to can't stay out of foul trouble. And that's the 3rd on Franco.
Yeah, and he's going to have to sit now and wait for the third quarter.
That's tough. 4 minutes, 49 seconds without Franco. Another look at what looked like a push-off to me. Yeah, just bullying his man. And Santos took a seat, sold it well. Ruiz also checking out. So 4:44 to the half. This is Scala for Franca. Team that's 2-0 in Group D action. Scala the 3. And another push-off foul goes against Obras. This time it's Sermaniento.
Yeah, Obras is missing size in the paint, and they're battling, trying to block people out, but having to push instead of block out people. And you know, the size of Franco in the paint is just killing them on the glass. And you know, it's a losing battle here. He just had to push him in the back because he's not big enough or strong enough to block him out.
So already 4 fouls in 11 minutes for Leandro Serminato. So he's already 1 away from fouling out. And here comes Obras. Down 9, they need a spark. Pass picked. Here comes Franca with numbers. 4-on-2. 3 ball. A bit strong, and rebound tips out off of Obras. So Franca gets to keep it here up by 9.
See, in there, Sam, if you're playing the good shot, bad shot, they had an advantage of players, and they've been killing them in the post, and you choose to take a 3. Is it a terrible shot? No. You were kind of open, but could you get a better shot? Absolutely.
So then a game of good shot, bad shot becomes terrible shot, bad shot, okay shot, good shot, or excellent shot, right? There's more layers.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you talk about, you know, Popovich in San Antonio and a lot of coaches. The great teams give up good shots to get great shots.
Here's probably an okay shot, but it goes in for the red-hot Lucas Diaz, who is creeping on 20 points.
And for him, that's a good shot because he's on fire. And just because it's a good shot, a good shot for me doesn't mean it's a good shot for you, Sam. Sorry.
Everyone's got their own scale. Driving kick from Spite, and 3's out for Venegas. Foul on the rebound will keep it here, and that goes against Diaz. His second, he doesn't seem too bothered.
No, and this is an important part of the game. It's close to getting out of hand a little bit. Well, let's see what happens in the next 3.5 minutes.
Spite in the corner. Hasn't scored since that opening minute barrage. Spite falling into one, and it was a bit strong. Rebound tips to Diaz. Here comes Franca. Scala. And the pass picked. Here's Andre Spite. His first bucket since the first quarter, and Obras is within 10.
Yeah, and sometimes getting a little cheap layup like that helps you get you back on track. We'll see if that's true.
Nothing else, it ends a drought. Franca's response now. Scala prodding, Scala fouled. And Obras' foul trouble continues. This time Venegas is guilty. And there's contact, just a grab of the wrist.
Yeah, but you see he put his arm in his chest first to kind of make the younger player grab his wrist, but he kind of initiated that contact. That's a veteran going to the basket in FIBA basketball.
You think that's what Christopher Dominguez is arguing for there?
A little bit.
So now with the line, Santiago Scala. And could that be the last we see of Diaz in the first half?
It could be, depending on how this flow goes. But closing quarters is very important. Last 2 minutes of a quarter.
Why is it so crucial?
It gets you, it not only does it score points or do you lose points, but it gets momentum or breaks momentum going into the next quarter.
And Franca looking to recapture some momentum. In the corner, Scala cans a three. And it's a game high 15-point lead for Franca. Spite desperate for answers. And Franca picks another steal. And then throws it back away with 2.5 to go.
Yeah, there's a good sign of, you know, they knock down a three at the end of this quarter, and then they have a chance to capitalize on that and really kind of put the pressure on Obras, but they turn the ball over.
2.5 minutes to go in the half. A little messy, but Franca a 15-point lead. We'll be back for the home stretch of the first half after this.
What's the problem? The pressure's too much?
No, we're not going the right shit.
We gotta take care of the ball.
We're running in and there's 4 people right now. That's not gonna work.
We gotta take care of the ball. Hey, Miguel, tienes que caer. Hey, no esperas para hacer el bloqueo. Put pressure on the rim. Put pressure on the rim. All right? Guys, we're in 14. Let's go. Get to a front. Chippy, get to a front. We gotta have low man, okay? You guys run your pick and roll. Let's go.
So interesting to listen to the huddle there. Coach Christopher Dominguez imploring his team, let's get the pick and roll game going. That was Andre Spite's first bucket in almost 20 minutes. And back here for BCL America's action, Sam Brief alongside NBA veteran Paul McKeskey. And Coach, there's not much pick and roll here. Why did you think Coach Dominguez was asking for more of it?
Well, I think he was imploring his team, is this pressure too much for you? And then he was begging his team to attack the rim, put pressure on the rim, drive the basketball, and then he told them to use the pick and roll to do that. But it's more of the attack the rim and stop settling for jump shots like that.
Well, they're not really following so far. Here's a jump shot and another miss. That's not going to make Coach happy. Here's another one.
Nope.
Boy, Coach has got to be fuming by now. Finally attacking the rim on the putback. And Obras is bailed out with some smooth play by Jeffrey Solarin.
Yes, he's begging them to attack the rim, and evidently they are not listening so far.
Saying, is the pressure too much for you? Franca's been putting it on him.
Yeah, he's talking about not only the pressure of this game, because there is some, but also the pressure defensively. Is it too much for you that you can't drive the ball and put pressure on the rim, attack the rim?
So a technical foul on Coach Dominguez leads to some free throws here for David Jackson. Coach, you coached for over a decade in the G League and at many levels. How frustrating is it when you give a message like that in a timeout and then you see the exact opposite happen right after the break?
It's very frustrating. In my 23 years of coaching professional basketball, that's one of the most frustrating things is when your team doesn't listen and abide by what you're telling them to do. It might put them out of their comfort zone. It might make them a little uncomfortable driving to the basket, but just try to do what the coach asks you. And the other thing there, Sam, they kind of got bailed out, like you said, with an offensive rebound putback. So the players are thinking, well, that's okay. We can keep shooting threes. When in reality, that's not true.
And watching the body language, I see a lot of frustration for Obras. Some things they got to sort through in the locker room. Santos now on the free throws. If you're just tuning in, this one started certainly in Obras' favor. American-born guard Andre Spite with a flurry of threes to get us started, and Obras was cooking, but it's been a two-man game. Big man Marcio Santos, who just hit the free throw, along with Lucas Diaz, have dominated the post. And Franca, as a result, 15-point lead approaching the 90-second mark. Baral, Venegas. Obras struggling to find the inside. And the three for Solarin's off. Second chance, though. Here's another three. This time, Venegas keeps Obras in it.
But that was a different type of three. That was a kick out from the low post out to the three-point shooter. That's a different kind of three that I'm sure the coach will accept.
And that strong play on the inside leading to something else outside. Jackson on the drive, and man, this Franca offense is a thing of beauty.
Yeah, they're just all in tune with what each other's doing.
After another steal, Jackson hits another three, and David Jackson is heating up.
Heat check, heat check.
At a great time, you said closing quarters was crucial, and Franca is closing with authority.
Yes, and opening this game wide open.
Solarin keeps it outside. And now an offensive foul. Jackson, after the heat check, draws a charge.
When it rains, it pours, you know, Sam. It's just nothing's going right for Obras, and Franco's taking advantage of that big time.
Wow, this Franca team led by that man, Coach Helinko Rubens, has to feel great heading into halftime. And looks like we might have a quick timeout. Franca and Obras meeting for the second time. First one was a little over a month ago, and it was a Franca win 94-87. And during this review, Coach, this one hasn't quite gone as I imagined. Franca is just mutilating them in the post.
Yeah, this is surprising. Franca has the size on him with veteran guys, 6'8", 220, 230 that know how to play, and Obras doesn't have the size or strength inside. But yeah, we're talking about the timeout, Sam, and the other thing I found interesting is after the coach asked, is the pressure too much for you? What's going on? One of the players said, we're not doing what we're supposed to do. And that's a bad sign, and obviously that's taking too many threes, not driving, drawing and kicking, and taking the right threes.
So at least the players are self-aware. What does that tell you? That he's openly admitting, hey, we're not doing what we should be doing.
Well, some of them are and some of them aren't. That player is pretty much employing to his other teammates, do what you're supposed to do, like we've been doing for so long.
Right, leading from within.
That's a harder thing to do than people think, too. Get everybody on the same page.
And Franca with only 8 men dominating this game as Hinkle has it. 3-second differential, so you can virtually hold for the final shot. This is Hinkle and the red-hot Diaz. Nice drop-off down low, but Franca comes up empty. Last chance now for Obras in the first half, and a foul to give for Franca, so Hinkle gave it.
Yeah, that was a great high-low action at that end, but the player underneath rushed the shot, and he didn't have to. He could have caught that and went up strong. It would have been a better move for him.
So some better body language on this side with Franca. 5 seconds to go in the half. Pedro Baral with a second That pretty much summarizes it. Running out of time and then a 40-foot heave after the buzzer. A messy first half for Obras, a phenomenal first half for Franca, led by the phenomenal Lucas Diaz, who right now is leading all scorers with 23 points and 8 rebounds. We've come to halftime here in Concepcion, Chile. This is the Basketball Champions League Americas. And in about 10 minutes, we'll have quarter 3 action live from Chile.
Al frío no le pasa nada, ¿cierto?
Apologies for some of the quick technical difficulties. We're back in action just 2 minutes into the second half, and still the same narrative. Franca dominating Obras. 19-point lead as Smaniotti goes with a step-back three, and he cans it. Is that a good shot, Coach?
Yeah, if it goes in at this point, you're down in this game, and your main guy, Andre Spite, is struggling. You need to get some action. Their body language hasn't been great. It wasn't great coming out of halftime, and yeah, you might need to look at playing some zone in front of the post to shake things up, but you got to stop the basketball here to get back in this game.
And just more defensive breakdowns for Obras as Hinkle scores his 11th. Here's Spite, who hasn't scored other than on a gimme transition bucket since the first quarter. Spite now with it. Driving kick into the corner. Barala three. Not even close. Here comes Franca with numbers. The extra pass is a good one, and Santos delivers. The lead is back out to 20.
Yeah, and Ubras's body language is getting worse and worse. You saw their big underneath when they bricked up that three-point shot. They just kind of gave up on the whole play, and then you got the other end. You really kind of miss a dunk, and it flies up in the air and goes in the basket. So it might be one of those nights.
It looks like basket interference might have just been called against Franca as Spite hits one and a foul that goes against an incredulous Santiago Scala. That was a nifty little move for Spite. Is he back?
Yeah, I think, he struggled, and they pressured him from the three-point line. So take it to the basket. He can do this. He can finish. And their only hope to get back in this game is for him to start lighting it up. And you hope he didn't run out of gas in last night. But, however, he had 11 points in the first half, but only played 11 minutes. That's only half of the first half. So he's got to play this whole half and hopefully get hot.
If you're just joining us, we covered this in the open, but Obras played last night. They got a 29-point win over UDEC, while Franca is fresh. They haven't played in over a month. Spite gives it up. Smaniotti gives it to Franca. 3-on-1. This is a gimme bucket, and Paulo Barbosa drops it in.
Yes, and Franca's been attacking in transition all game long with pretty much slim or no resistance. So I don't see them. They're going to keep attacking the rim and scoring at ease, it looks like.
And that's the closest Obras can come to the ring. Smaniotti on a really contested teardrop. Probably not the best shot in this situation.
Yeah, I mean, and they're having trouble getting to the rim, like you said. And, Franco is bigger, stronger, longer at this point.
Here's a Spite three. He just doesn't have what he had in the first quarter. This team looks tired. Now 1-on-3. Hinkle wins the battle. That's when you know it's your night, right, Coach?
Yeah, and there's a little give up in Obras. You hate to see that. You would like to see them fight through. Try to get this to 10 or so going into the fourth, and you got a shot at it. But you got to have a better attitude here.
Another three, and this time Solarin cans it. We haven't seen much of him, but Jeffrey Solarin's been a bright spot.
Yeah, he can knock down threes. He can take it to the basket.
Diaz up top, steps through. Now outside, a three for Santos. Franca is doing it all. Inside, outside, it doesn't matter.
And there's a reason they're owning this their division here in this tournament.
Baral with a nice step back three, keeping Obras in it. Coach Mo, 11 of 23. Franca shooting at 48% from downtown. That'll get the job done, eh?
Yeah, and they're getting good uncontested shots, too.
Baral coast to coast. He scored 5 points in about 10 seconds.
And that came off of a defensive stop, and that's what Obras is going to have to do. They're going to have to somehow stop the offense here and push the ball.
Heat check for Diaz, 3:54, and it's a 15-point Franca lead. What does Coach Dominguez, who still looks awfully agitated, need to see from his team in the next 3 minutes to stay competitive?
just what they've done in the last minute. Get some defensive stops, move the ball, take some shots that are open, and if they're not that far away. As bad as they've been playing, they're only 15 points down. They get this to 10 or 8 in the next 3 minutes. But you got to make
That won't help.
layups.
Maniotti missing the layup. Hinkle up top to Jackson. He's been a microwave player.
You just
Hinkle to
keep
Diaz.
You can't miss layups like that.
And then Santos draws a foul. Goes against Solarin. And that's a late shot clock foul. What do you see here from Santos drawing it?
Well, if I was the coach, and I don't know if he's worked on it, these guys, Franco's too big, too strong, too good in the post. You have to front the post. When they throw it over the top, come from the weak side, help, trap them, and make them do something else besides what they're doing. Getting into the post, going to work, getting fouls, and going to the free throw line. You got to change it up.
Marcio Santos comes up empty on the first. He's been a really complimentary piece on the inside. 9 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, which is a team high.
He's another
Santos,
veteran
6'8"
that's
center.
around. Yeah, and he fits in perfectly with what Franco does. Great addition.
It's in both. How does he fit in best as a complimentary piece?
Well, he just knows how to play. He can shoot the three, he can post up, he can rebound, he can pass, obviously with 5 assists. So he's just a perfect fit to pretty much any team, but especially Franco.
And there's an answer for Spite, who's shown us little glimpses of his full potential. A 14-point game. Zone defense now for Obras. Why the switch?
Well, they got to change it up, and with the zone, you have a chance if you're smart enough to front the post. And there's a frustration technical right there from the bench.
What does that tell you?
That tells me their body language and their frustration is really oozing out. And you can't get shook. If you get shook with a team against a team like Franco, they're going to capitalize and just attack. You can't give up easy buckets like this when you're struggling and scraping and scrapping to try and get back in this game, and you just get an unwarranted technical and give them another point. There you go.
Jackson making him pay. Franca's owned the battle in the paint. 31-23 on the glass, +8. And the offensive barrage continues, courtesy of Charles Hinkle.
And that'll add to your frustration when they swing the ball and knock down the three.
Man, Hinkle's been incredibly efficient. Perfect from downtown. He's only missed 1 shot. Meanwhile, Spite keeps Obras in it. This guy can heat up in a hurry. Watch out.
Yes, he can, but you got to get the stops down here and somehow stop or slow down Franco on their offensive end.
A drive, a foul is called against Obras. Good job by Paulo Barbosa to draw it, and you think Jeffrey Solarin is a fan of the call? It's 4.
I think I maybe don't disagree with him. It looked like he got over there in time.
Let's watch it again. Yeah,
right
he had
on
his
the
feet
chest.
set.
That's a charge. Sorry. And that's more frustrating. That's a charge.
Instead, Solarin's whistled for his 4th, so 1 away from fouling out. It's been Obras with more foul trouble, even though Franca's been the team playing shorthanded. Franca only with 8 active players, compared to Obras with 10. And here's Paulo Barbosa. Hey, ball don't lie, right?
I was just gonna say that. Yeah. Now we gotta get down and get it.
Ball really don't lie, right?
get a good shot here, and you never know what could happen. You get it down to 10.
Well, let's see what Spike can do. The 3 ball leads to a Franca rebound, just inhaled by Marcio Santos. Franca will be patient here. Diaz, Jackson, and in the corner, Santos. Can't hit it. This is Alejo Digan on the rebound. We haven't seen him yet today. On the drive, that goes out of bounds. It touched a Franca player. I believe
Yeah, I think
Marcio
he got
Santos,
tipped.
so we'll keep it here.
Yeah, I got tipped, fortunately, because it wasn't a very good pass.
So Obras keeps the ball. Felipe Ignacio also just checked in. 5'11" guard out of Chile, playing in his home country. This game down in Concepcion, Chile at La Casa de Deporte. Terminato checking out with 4 fouls. This is Venegas. Ignacio, back to Venegas. Just 5 to shoot, and it's a kick ball that'll stop the clock, or reset that shot clock, actually, to 14. So Ubras looking to keep it competitive heading into the 4th. And it's Ignacio. Venegas in the corner. This is the 3, rebound inhaled by Diaz. Franca, plenty of patience, plenty of time, starting to bleed some clock. Jackson with just 2 to shoot from the free throw line. Gets the teardrop to go. Smooth for David Jackson.
Yeah, Franco is showing why they are the cream of the crop here, and they just don't rush. They're smart. They take good shots, not many bad shots. They're strong, and they know exactly what they're doing, and they follow the game plan.
Looking to stay undefeated in Group D action. Step through for Fernandez leads to a foul on Ubras. Wow, this Franca team executing to perfection. What does it look like the game plan was from the outset?
Well, I don't think it's the game plan just for this game. I think it's just the way they play. They spread the floor. They pound it in the post when they have a mismatch, and they got bigs that can do that. And then they spread the floor. They drive and kick, and they just don't take bad shots. Most of their, I should say 80% of their shots are good shots, and they don't turn the ball over. They're just an overall, all-around good team.
Well, the shooting numbers tell the story. This Franca team, 57% from the floor. Ubras, just 40%. And there you see the results. 15 seconds left in the 3rd. And Ubras can hold for the final shot. A little rushed there. Not sure what that was, but it does lead to a Franca foul on Jackson, who's probably thinking the same.
Yeah, that's a drive into the guy and throw the ball up and get a call.
Is this the offense that Ubras wants? I'm not sure that's going to win you many games. Venegas will get 3 free throws.
At this point, it might be the only way you can score and then go down there and foul them because they missed the last 4 free throws. So maybe there's this, there's the strategy right there. But, they got to shake something up.
And looking at the numbers, about the only thing Franca hasn't done flawlessly is shoot the ball from the charity stripe. Just 14 of 21 as a team. But they are at 46% from downtown, 57% from the floor. Franca's out rebounding Ubras. They've forced 6 steals, 3 blocks, playing almost flawless basketball today with a double-digit lead. And at 11 seconds left in the 3rd, they're on the verge of staying unbeaten.
Yeah, the problem with shooting that early is you give Franco a shot at it here. Unfortunately for
now one last gasp for Ubras. Venegas can't drill it, and that'll do it for the 3rd quarter. 15-point lead for Franca. 10 minutes to go. Franca looking to stay unbeaten in BCL America's action. And we're back for the final stretch after this. I hear that magic organ, and that means it's time to start the fourth quarter. And Paul McKeskey with you. I know that organ's comforting for you, Coach.
What a way to get fired up, right? Old-fashioned organ music.
Yeah, well, Obras needs a little fire up here. Down 15 with under 10 to go. Franca looking to stay hot. A miss. Rebound Ferreira. Back out. Scala. A 3-ball. He drills it. And Franca keeps the pedal to the metal.
They just continue to play strong basketball. Yeah, and we've seen this before, Sam. It gets hot and it gets a little sweaty, but Franco just continues to play solid. They don't get shook. They move the ball. They take good shots. They get offensive rebounds, and it's tough to eat into a 17-point deficit.
On the note of offensive rebounds, 9 offensive boards for Franca today, as they lead it by nearly 20 and now possess it. On the drive, this is Diaz pounding it in off the glass, and a technical foul is called right after that. Maybe a little excessive celebration. It's against Santos.
A little taunting there. Yeah, I call that, a 1-point layup, because if you make a great play, really strong, and then you yell and get excessive and get a technical. So if they go down and make a free throw, you get 1 point, not 2.
I know how I feel about that. The scream, is that really worth a technical foul call? I mean, come on, it's sports.
Yeah. Well, it depends on what you're looking at and how you're doing it. So, and that's the way it is. I mean, I don't know if you remember a player in the NBA, Hassan Whiteside.
Uh-huh.
He's a 7-foot guy, block shots. He played for Miami, and he played for me in Reno, and he's really athletic, 6'11", and monster dunks, and then he'd scream at the bench, and then they call it technical, and they go down, make a free throw, and I said, nice 1-point dunk there, Hassan. Unnecessary.
What was the response?
I know, Coach.
Hey, you make a great play, let him know. And meanwhile, Franca continues to make great plays. That's a quiet 22 points for Santiago Scala, and a 22-point lead for Franca.
No, Sam, make a great play and act like you've been there before.
Okay, fair enough. I haven't been there before, though, so I say what I say.
You're the young guy. I'm the old guy. Get off my lawn, guy.
Yeah, you've been there. Santos, after the pass fake, drills a 3. 25-point monster lead for Franca, and a timeout for Obras.
All smiles over there.
This team is executing flawlessly. Franca on the verge of staying unbeaten in Group D. Final stretch coming up after this timeout.
Juan Pablo Pepo. That's my 5. That's my 5. Guys, we're in 14. You're in a wall, all right? You're in a wall. You got to be back. Guys, switch 1 through 3. We got to advance the ball. We got to run. We got to score in bunches. Let's go. Let's go.
The organ means we're back. Coach, what has Franca done best tonight?
Everything. They've rebounded, they've post up, they've scored on the block, they've kicked it out, they've made threes, they've scored in transition, and they play pretty solid defense too. So they've done everything right. And right now, Obras has to really start thinking about having some pride and not letting this game get crazy, because sometimes point differential in these things matters. So, you know, you don't want to get beat by 40 here. You want to keep staying competitive.
And here in the BCL Americas, absolutely matters. We're in Group D action right now, and as we get forward into the knockout stage, point differential can mean quite a bit. So this team's got to stay locked in, and Andre Spite helping them do just that. The American guard has been about the only bright spot.
Yeah, and some other people haven't stepped up, but Ubras is a good team. They just got rolled over today by a better team. But like you said, you got to have some fight in you here at the end, and you know, keep playing. And point differential does matter. And don't play behind the post when you're 5-7.
Running out of time, David Jackson. Coach, we heard Christopher Dominguez, the Ubras head coach, imploring his team in the huddle. How difficult is it to coach when your team's already down 25?
Well, you could see them. They had given up on the game already. So you got to really kind of, you know, challenge their pride and say, hey, we're a good team. Let's play this last 7 minutes hard and strong. And you, first of all, you never know what happened. I've seen a 20-point lead vanish in a second. But either way, we want to play good basketball. And like we keep saying, point differential does matter.
So a 22-point game that is probably more important than your average 22-point game, as we've got Group D action here in BCL Americas. And folks, if you're just joining us, we will be back at 7:10 Eastern Time, 9:10 local time for the nightcap matchup between Real Estelí and Halcones de Jalapa. But meanwhile, Franca is at 100 points thanks to the incredibly efficient Charles Hinkle.
Incredibly efficient.
Offensive board, put back, yes, sir.
Yeah, they're just they're just an offensive juggernaut, and you know, I think you know, if you're gonna compete with them, you got to be bigger, stronger, better on defense, better on the blocking out, and it's not gonna happen tonight.
See, that looks like a play where Ubras might have given up defensively. Wesley Ferreira with a layup I could have made.
Yeah, and at some point, you know, I don't know about you, but I have some pride. I'm going to foul the crap out of them. I'm going to hit their arm, put them on the free throw line, make some free throws.
As you should.
I'm not going to give up.
He's down 25.
I mean, yeah, and at this point, it doesn't matter if anybody fouls out, except maybe Spike, but anybody else, it just doesn't matter at this point. Use all your fouls. I did for 12 years.
This is about as you used all your fouls? How many times do you think you fouled out?
A lot, but I knew there were good fouls and hard fouls.
Here with 12-year NBA vet Paul McKeskey. Coach, I read that you were the only player to foul out of an NBA playoff game in just one quarter. Do you remember that night?
Yeah, I do, and that's not true anymore, by the way. But I'll tell you when it was.
At the
it was
time.
Against Philadelphia. It was against Philadelphia, and I was purposely fouling players to get us back in the game. So that's that.
Got that vivid memory. Did it work?
I can't remember. Probably not.
Yeah, an attempt to fire up the troops, though. Noble effort as we have a foul under the basket. It'll go against Smaniotti. This is about as different of an Ubras team as it could get from last night. Yesterday, a 96-67 win over UDEC, and today, a borderline 30-point, about to be lost to Franca. This Ubras team has fallen apart, but we got to give credit to this Franca squad. Marcio Santos and Lucas Diaz. Coach, you know big man play. What do those two do so well that makes them so stingy?
Well, they do everything. They all go the offensive glass. They all post up and take their time in the post. They can all stretch the floor and shoot jumpers, and they're all good passers. So, you know, and they're all about the same size, right? They're all like 6'8", 6'7", 6'8", and they're interchangeable. So, you know, they go high, low. They do a little bit of everything, and they defend their position.
Franca's got only 3 players on their roster who are below 6'4". This is a big team, and Marcio Santos keeps the good times rolling.
They said too small. And this is my point, Sam. Why would you keep playing behind the post? They're killing you. Just front them.
This Ubras team isn't adjusting. Smanioti's been one of those bright spots, though. 19 points. Look at that. He's only missed 1 3. Barbosa.
There you go.
Against
Front
Spike.
the post and front. Oh, you gave up your position, and you pay for it.
That usually goes in. Offensive board, and Ferreira was fouled. So he will make a trip to the charity stripe.
And I'll tell you, Sam, and we did this in the G League, and I really liked it. We fronted the post all the way out to the three-point line and made him throw over the top. And then we trap it. We turn it into a trap. And, at that point, Ubras had the post fronted, and then the post man stepped out a little bit, and then he gave back his position and let him catch in the post. Not a good idea.
Smarioti's fouled out with this foul. Coach, to the casual fan, what do you mean when you say we need to front the post?
Well, you need to get in front of the post and stay between the passer and the post-up man. So you're all the way in front of him. So the only way they can pass to the post is if they throw a lob over the top. And while the ball is in the air on that lob, you come from the weak side help defensive position and trap that man and make him make a play. Make him pass it, make him dribble it, and make him do something else besides catching the post, dribble, post you down low, and then go up for an easy basket.
Now checking things over at the scorers table. So essentially, I, as the defender, have to get my body between the ball and the big man in the post. Don't let him get in front of me. Don't let that pass be so easy.
Absolutely. And what you'll find is most players don't know how to throw a nice lob over the top. And then most post players can't catch that ball. And then even after they catch the ball, they can't do something with it. So what you're doing is you're trying to create opportunities for the offensive postman to mess up. He can not catch the ball. That's a good for you. He can travel. That's good for you. He can throw it away. That's good for you.
What's happening here? I think we just had an ejection.
Yeah, I think been in there
Dominguez.
before. I think the coach said, "Hey, I've had enough of this. I'm not going to stick around and watch this. I'm going to go in the locker room. Bye-bye. Maybe get a fresh soft drink."
So Christopher Dominguez, maybe he'll enjoy a nice can of Coke and watch the last 4:08. That might have been the speediest ejection I've ever seen. He just sprinted right into the locker room.
That's because he wanted that to happen.
Yeah.
Believe me, there's technicals you get as a coach. Oh, no, that's past the point here, but making a point maybe. But, at some point, you get technicals as a coach that, that surprise you a little bit. But for the most part, you get technicals as a coach because you want them, rather to fire up the team or make a point to a referee or change the momentum.
Well, Ubras isn't back in action until February 7th. They're going to be over in Buenos Aires taking on this same Franca team. So if you're Coach Dominguez now, you have 4 minutes to start drawing up your game plan. What is line A of that game plan for the 7th of February?
Line A is get bigger, stronger players.
What if you can't get new players?
Well, you do, because players are changed around a lot at this level. So you go find a bigger, stronger player that you can battle a little bit, and then you work on blocking out, you work on transition defense, because that's where they've really hurt you. But in the long run, if you're going to go to battle with the same team you have now, guess what? Pretty much the results are going to be the same.
Franca already now about to be 2-0 against Ubras, and with 3 minutes, 19 seconds, this one is pretty much in the books, but we'll see how it shakes out for the next 3. Coach and I will be back after this home stretch, live from Chile.
Pueden seguir toda la acción del torneo en las redes sociales oficiales, en Twitter, en Instagram, en Facebook, en el @BCL.
Back in Concepcion for the final 3 minutes between Franca and Obras, and some of the highlights of what Obras has been able to do to stay somewhat competitive, but somewhat comes with a huge caveat. This team is down big and the game is essentially over. Coach Mo, Sam Brief with you as Franca puts the finishing touches on this one. These two teams will be back in action in a few weeks. Yep.
Yeah, Sam, I'll make a point that, I talked about getting bigger and stronger players, right, for the next session. When we're going to do a game after this one, Halcones de Jalapas, they did not like the way their season was going. They have 7 new players. 7 new players. So it's doable to get bigger, stronger players. And at the other point, I'd also, if I was Obras, I would work on fronting the post and coming from the weak side to trap and changing that up, because I know one thing, we can't keep playing the post like we are now.
Meanwhile, Franca continues to put on an absolute show. Coach, for this Franca team, it's difficult to beat the same team twice, let alone 3 times in a close stretch of time. How do you avoid falling into the same trap, or do you just keep doing the same old thing because it's work?
Well, I think, it's mental, and as long as everything stays the same, you're a better team. So you just keep doing the same things you've been doing. There's nothing you really need to adjust to. You just need to be focused. And, you're a better team. And, just keep doing the same things. And they're a veteran team. And they obviously are well coached. They obviously know what they're doing. So, they're smart enough to realize that they're just going to keep keeping it simple, just like they are now. And even though you're up 30, they're sharing the ball. So, as long as you're the better team like they are, you just keep doing the same thing.
The numbers have been phenomenal tonight for Obras, shooting outside, inside, and foul against Franca. I said the numbers were phenomenal for Obras. I meant for Franca, been the opposite for Obras. For Franca, 21 points for Lucas Diaz, 22 for Santiago Scala, Hinkle with 19, Santos with 19, Ferreira with 18. Coach, who might be an unsung hero of this game for Franca?
Well, I think all of them just played well.
Yeah.
I mean, they play unselfish. No one really forces shots. So, I just think they're all solid players. And you know what? I'm thinking and rethinking, maybe 8 players might be a good way to go, as long as they're good players, though.
Yeah, 8 good, big, strong players with chemistry. That's what we've seen tonight from Franca. Coming down the wire of this one. Next up is going to be Halcones against Real Esteli. Coach Mo and I will be on the call for that one starting at 7:10 Eastern time, 9:10 local time. As it's a 20-point Franca lead, this squad is on the verge of a 3-0 record in Group D action.
And you know what, Sam? They've actually done a good job of just keeping it a 20-point lead. Obras is still battling. They're still playing, so that's a good sign.
We had an ejection 2 minutes ago. Their coach, Christopher Dominguez, took the technical and then sprinted into the locker room. He's watching the final minute here as his team just plays point differential. These are the kinds of things that in a tournament like this might matter. Tiebreakers and things of that sort as we get into the knockout stage. Point differential, super important. With 52 seconds left, Obras just kind of playing that game.
Yeah, you just never know when it could come into play.
With 5, it's Venegas. Too strong, and Diaz continues to dominate the glass. A double-double today as he goes down the court, and Fernandez takes a foul at the 35-second mark. Well, Lucas Diaz today, 21 points and 13 rebounds. You mentioned the dominance on the offensive glass, Coach. How much of that is related to not seeing Obras front the post like you've been imploring them.
Yeah, I mean, you're giving him a chance to catch the ball, and the problem with players think, well, I'm going to front the post, but when he gets out a little farther to the wing, I'm not going to front him anymore. But what happens is, then you let him catch it, and guess what he does? He just backs you down where he was before. So, if I could be a consultant for Ubras, I would show them how to front the post, turn it into a trap on the backside, play a front side zone, and see what happens.
Go for it, coach.
At the same time, though,
consult.
Franco's bigs are strong and smart and, good passers. So it'll be a difficult task, but it's absolutely better than what you're doing now.
We mentioned this Franca team of only 8 features 5 players that are 6'5" or taller. So this is a bigger, stronger, and really smarter team in terms of what we've seen today. And finishing strong, Santos put back dunk at 11 seconds. It'll be the cherry on top of a Franco domination. Ubras' last